Welcome back. In this exercise lesson, we're going to be practicing some of the concepts we learned about in the previous lessons. Equations, design tables, global variables, and linear patterns. Currently, I'm in the metric environment. Let's start by inserting a sketch on the top plane. Now let's bring in a rectangle. I'll drop it about here and apply some dimensions. I'll just accept the default values. OK. And let's exit the tool. Let's take an isometric view. Activate the Boss Extrude command. The default is a 10mm extrusion. Let's accept that. And let's right-click on this face and insert a new sketch. I'll drop a circle about here. I want my entire model to be controlled by the distance between this edge and the edge of the circle. You can choose a different parameter, for example, like the diameter of the circle if you want. In our previous tutorial, we created a global variable while applying dimensions to the sketch. I can do the same thing here. Let's type an equal sign. And then we'll create a global variable. But for this example, I want to try it a bit differently. Let's go to Tools, scroll down to Equations. Here are global variables. I'll insert a name, myVar. The value, let's say 15mm. Okay, now we've set the global variable and it holds a value of 15mm. Let's click OK. And let's double-click on the dimension. Equal sign. Here is myVar. Click OK. Now, instead of selecting the value from this drop-down menu, I'm going to click on the dimension I just created. Now my second dimension is equal to my first dimension. Again, let's enter the equal symbol, myVar, multiplied by 1.5, and click OK. And we're ready to exit the sketch. Let's activate the Extruded Boss command. 10mm depth is fine. Let's click OK. And let's insert another sketch on the top of the cylinder. Now a circle. We'll wake up the center of the circle. Oops, I missed it. Let's try that again. Right-click and select. We'll select everything. Okay, let's grab the center of the sketch circle and snap it to the center of the cylinder. Let's apply smart dimensions now. Equal sign, myVar, multiplied by 0.75, and OK. Let's exit our sketch. Activate the Cut Extrude command. For the depth, we'll enter through all. And let's accept. OK, let's right-click on Annotations. Select Show Feature Dimensions. Let's create a few more equations. Equals myVar multiplied by 4. OK. And equals myVar multiplied by 8. OK. Extrusion depth. It'll be equals myVar divided by 1.5. And accept. Last one here. Equal sign. We have the depth of Boss Extrude 1 equal to the depth of Boss Extrude 2 now. Let's click OK, and let's test out our model. What I'm going to do is change this value to 10mm. Click OK. Let's click Update, and it seems that everything is working just fine. Let's update again. Next, I'm going to apply a linear pattern. First, we'll select the pattern direction. Then we select the features to pattern. It's going to be Boss Extrude 2. The distance, 30 millimeters. And let's click OK. Let's apply one more linear pattern. For the feature to pattern, I'll use the extruded cut. Let me change the direction, and let's click OK. Of course, I can use one linear pattern, but for demonstration purposes, I've created two linear patterns. Let's apply an equation to our direction. Double-click here. Now enter the equal sign, global variable, multiplied by 2. OK. And the same thing here. Equals my variable, my var, multiplied by 2. Let's give the number of instances a better name. I'm going to call it something more descriptive like whole number. OK. And let's find the second one. If you don't see it, just drag your mouse around and it's going to get highlighted. Let's call this boss number. And accept. OK, let's go back to Insert, Tables, and Design Tables. The Auto Create option is just fine for us. Let's click OK. From this list, I need the boss number and the whole number. Let's click OK. Now here I want the number of holes equal to the number of bosses. Let's select this cell, and let's type equal sign, and then select this cell and press Enter. I'm going to highlight this cell now. Grab on the bottom and drag. Now let's rename our configurations appropriately. I'll call them 2, 3, and 4. Let's enter some values for the boss number and click outside to exit. SOLIDWORKS confirms it just created the 3 new configurations. Let's click OK. And let's test out what we've created so far. We'll take a look at the configurations 2, 3, and here's the configuration with 4 instances. Let's right-click and select Edit Table. And I'll just cancel out of that. Now I'm going to insert the variables we created earlier into this table. Let's assign some values. Say 10 millimeters, 15 millimeters, and 20 millimeters. Click outside the table to register. And let's test our model out. Here's configuration 2. There's configuration 3. Rebuild. And configuration 4. And this concludes our exercise lesson.